On a day-by-day basis, a lot of people are sad, okay? But they don't know why it is they're sad. They walk around in a negative mood, and the opportunities, experiences, and people that they are around are either negatively affecting them, or they are negatively affecting the opportunities, experiences, and people around them. Now, I just finished reading a book called The Happiness Advantage by Shawn, and he does an amazing job in quantifying exactly what it is that makes a happy person happy, okay, with real mathematics and science behind it. Furthermore, what he also does is he looks at the outcomes that can be delivered by someone who is happy versus someone who is sad. So let's jump straight into it. A study was done into 16,000 students, into thousands of doctors, and into thousands of salespeople. A salesperson who is positive is 56% more likely to outsell his negative counterpart. Okay, a positive doctor is 19% quicker in diagnosing patients than his negative counterpart. And a student who is primed to be in a positive and optimistic mood before sitting an exam is much more likely to outperform a student who is in a negative mood. Okay, so there is a direct link between being positive and being productive. And the reason for this is when you are in a positive, optimistic mood, you have more ability from your visual cortex than when you're in a negative mood. If I was looking at a picture in a negative mood, I'm much less likely to notice the subtleties of what's going on in the background of the picture. Subtle colors, subtle objects, subtle things in the background. Versus me in an optimistic mood, because I'm accessing more of my visual cortex, I'm more able to notice the subtleties of what's going on in the background of the picture, and I'm able to decipher far more from that picture. Hence why there is a positive correlation between being in an optimistic mood and being more productive. Okay, now you may be saying to me, yeah, sure, I knew that. Obviously, if I'm in a happier mood, I can be more productive and achieve more. Sure thing. But you may also be thinking you're not in control of being in a negative mood because it's your family, it's your friends, okay? It's the fact that there's a lack of opportunities around you business-wise. It's because the experiences you've had through your life are very negative. All very valid points, and I give you that, okay? However, let's quantify what happy is first. Another researcher done 10 years of studying into what happiness is. And if we were to put happiness into a number, it's 2.9. And it's 2.9 as a ratio to negative experiences. If you can have 2.9 positive opportunities, experiences, and encounters versus 1 negative experience, opportunity, and encounter, you will be happy. Until, of course, from a mathematical perspective, the amount of negative opportunities, experiences, or encounters you have trumps the 2.9. Okay, so as long as the average is 2.9 for every positive encounter, experience, and opportunity you have, you will be happy. I know this sounds like it's a lot easier said than done, but I actually think it's very easy to do. This is why it's so critical to have positive habits in your day. Now, this is going to leverage from a book called Atomic Habits that I read as well, okay? Atomic Habits says you should stack as many positive habits into your day as possible, okay? So things like reading, things like meditating, things like working out, things like learning a new language, things like drawing, things like running, things like painting. These are all positive, productive habits. So let's say my day actually has a lot of productive habits. I learn Spanish, I work out, I meditate, I read, I watch positive videos, and I journal my day. These are 6 positive habits I have. This means that I have space in my day for 2 negative things to happen and for me to still be happy, because I've done 6 productive things versus 2 negative things occurring. Which means even if 2 things happen in my day that's negative, I'm still going to mathematically be happy. Now, there is a scale to this, okay? If 1 major bad thing happens, of course it trumps 6 average positive things, okay? But how often is it that a major negative thing happens in your day? If anything, it's the subtle negativity, it's the subtle negative things in your day that are making people sad. Things such as speaking to people who are low vibrational, who have no ambitions in their life and are just complaining all the time. This is a subtle negative part of your day. Things like you encountering people and them being slightly rude to you or giving you a dirty look. These are negative, subtle things, but they stack. This is why it's critical, aside from having positive habits in your day and having as many of them as possible at that as well, is to surround yourself with positive, optimistic, ambitious people, with brains, with people who want to achieve things. When you surround yourself with these people, you're stacking small positive things into your day, because the things they say are optimistic, the things they're aiming for are ambitious, and you being around this and you hearing this stack small positivity points. Let's say subtle things like being looked at in a positive way, or being given a positive remark, or hearing positive things. Let's say that's worth 0.2 of a point. 5 of those things happening equates to possibly something like working out in the morning. If you were to have 15 negative subtle things happen in your day and you have 3 positive habits, that technically evens each other out, because if each negative subtle thing is 0.2 and it happens 15 times, that equates to your 3 positive habits. Which is why it is important to mitigate the chances of subtle negative things happening. You surround yourself as much as possible with positive people who have positive mindsets, who are ambitious. Okay, this reduces the negative subtleties and changes them to positive subtleties, stacking more points towards you being a happy person. And the second thing to do is to stack as many positive habits that are productive into your day, like learning a new language, working out, reading, journaling, meditating, eating healthy, and being as productive as possible, because you're stacking all those points and you're much more likely to be happy. Now, one more thing that the book really taught me that helped me out a lot is that a lot of people have lots of stuff going on in their life and they don't know how to tackle all of this stuff. It says that there was a guy called Zorro. Some of you might know him. He was very, very good with his sword back in the day. Now, when Zorro wasn't so good with his sword, his master drew a circle around him and said, "Zorro, stand in this circle and you train. I never want you to leave this circle until you feel that you are an adequate swordsperson." Okay, Zorro stood in that circle and he trained with his sword until he was so good that he was remembered throughout history as being one of the best sword masters. If we take that philosophy and we put it into modern day, what that means is, in a world where we have so much going on with our family, our friends, our romance life, our job, tackle one problem at a time. Okay, so take an hour or 2 out of your day and say, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to sort out this problem I'm having at work by speaking to the relevant people, documenting everything I need to. After that, I'm going to schedule 1 hour out to speak to my girlfriend or speak to my boyfriend to find out why it is that they've been frustrated with me recently. By tackling one negative thing that is ongoing at a time, you are far more likely to get an outcome from it that makes you happy. I hope you guys learned something from this. I have put a link for the book down in the description. Amazing book. And if you find yourself being quite upset and sad recently, which is very understandable given the circumstances we've just gone through as a globe, I would definitely recommend you read this book alongside Atomic Habits. Okay, these 2 books together, and maybe even The Power of Now. If you read Atomic Habits, The Power of Now, and The Happiness Advantage, they all have a direct link with how to stop being negative, be more positive, and be more present in the moment. So those 3 books will absolutely change your life, and from an audiobook perspective, you can consume those books within 5 days easily. Okay, thank you.